Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you why pain is a common denominator for success. I just got off of a market research call, and these are calls that I do when I'm looking to upgrade my messaging or something that I'm looking to figure out in my business. And instead of me generating the idea and what I think the market is thinking, I just go to the market and I ask someone who I know is my ideal client. I ask them questions and then I allow them to give me the responses. And that way I can interpret the information on a different level and use that in my copy and in my messaging. So I was on this market research call and I asked this gal if she had any fears as to why she might not be able to create the success that she wanted to create in her business this year. And she said no. And she said no so confidently. And as we continued to chat and we dove into her story, she had a back pain injury. And it's the reason why her business is born. She used dance in order to overcome her back pain. And now she helps other women not only overcome back pain, but also de stress through dancing. And because she had such a hardship that she went through in her life, she's exposed herself to different levels of discomfort that she had to overcome when she was really in the midst of her pain, of her injury. Not just on an emotional level because she lost the ability to do certain things, not just on a mental level because it affected how she would think, and not just on a physical level of how it affected her body. So you can see how this affected her in multiple ways because of the pain. But she exposed herself to, or I should say, she had exposure to levels of pain. And so now, as she's building her business, and even though there is success being created, pain allows you to be able to withstand the hardships, the challenges, the things that we feel like, man, this isn't working. My business isn't going the way that I thought it was going to go. The exposure that we've had to our pain actually allows us to keep going. It allows us to know that it's going to be worth it in the end. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs ask, is this worth it? And I recognize the ones who ask, is it worth it, often haven't been through certain hardships in their life or haven't processed it in a certain way where they really believe that they could overcome this entrepreneurship hardship, right? And so I think one of the things that I've noticed with myself is I've created a lot through pain. Most of the success that I created in my first two businesses, and if you're new to my channel, then you know that I have, or I should say, you don't know, but I had a business online where I was helping active agers exercise. I also had a product on Amazon, and I had a monetized YouTube channel in a much different space. And I also joined a network marketing company, which was my second business, which I still have. And now I'm coaching, and I'm coaching around mindset, personal development, embodiment, and business strategy. And so what I've noticed is that all of my businesses, to some degree, were really created or rooted in levels of pain, meaning that I was at a place in my life where things needed to shift for me. I desired them to shift for me. And it all started with recognizing that I was burned out in healthcare and this could not be my life. This is not how I wanted my life to go. It's not how I imagined it. And it felt painful because I wasn't living how I wanted to live. And it felt like I was settling. But I also had some other things going on in my personal life that was really pushing me out of my comfort zone. And so that's how my first business was really sparked. And then I moved into my second venture. And now I've had the most hardships in my life to date that have now spawned this particular business. And so when things look like they're not going well or the entrepreneurship hardship has presented itself, I've exposed myself to levels of pain before that I don't question, is it worth it? I don't question, will this ever work? I know it's going to work as long as you don't give up. I know that more clients come. And I think that's the thing that we really have to get ourselves to, is to understand that as long as we continue on our journey, we're not only learning, but we're learning and implementing. We can withstand the pressures of any potential doubt of, when will this work? It's not like, is it going to? It's more so like, when is it? Like, hurry up and get here, because we want it to get here so much faster than it might be here. But we have to recognize that we need leadership and we need our character to be developed and built as we are going on our journey. And so we want to be able to create the success, but we also want to be able to sustain it, which means that we have to have levels of oomph to be able to withstand the hardship in getting there. So that way, when we hit the top of the mountain that we want to hit, however you define success, that we've been through enough hardship that whatever happens at the top of the mountain doesn't knock us down and we roll back down. And so her story was rooted in hardship, but she's no longer creating from pain. I'm no longer creating from pain. I'm creating from a space of joy and pleasure, and so is she. And what I've noticed is that the level of hard in which things are started, it gets easier. And it gets easier because we alchemize our pain. Our pain turns into something, and we're able to then turn around and serve the people that we are meant to serve, whether we start coaching or we create some kind of a product. And I think it's a really beautiful space to recognize how pain can be alchemized. And I know this isn't the case for everyone, but once we start really shifting our vantage point of how pain can be used and we allow it to be of service to other people, I truly see it as a game changer. And I know for me, because I know some of the things that I've been through, I can't imagine not sharing any highlights and tidbits and tricks and hacks and all the things so that you can cut your learning curve on your journey, because there's so many things as entrepreneurs we wish we knew before we got to where we're at. It's like, I would have gotten here sooner had I known X, Y, and Z, but we're always appreciative of the journey that we have been on. But so much of it is birthed through pain. And we get to look at our pain and recognize that that is really just the launch pad. That is really just the starting point to create something really big and create something really beautiful. And I get really sad when I see people sitting in their pain and thinking that there is no answer. And we live in such a beautiful age of the internet where answers are literally at our fingertips. And I really want people to be able to know that answers are out there for whatever pain you're going through. And for the ones that have started businesses through their pain, I think this is our obligation. Like, we signed up for this. We signed up to be of service. And so whether somebody is watching our free content or they're working with us behind the scenes, we know how to help guide because of the pain that we have been through. We not only coach, but we mentor. And the products that we create to help people through their own journey, there's a level of insight that could have only come because we've been through the pain that we have been through. And so I just think it's really cool because I've noticed that what I've created is in pain. But when I went to the market, like I did today, to do market research, and that was shown back at me, I said, wow, there's so many people out here who have resilience, who have stamina and endurance to keep going. And something my dad always said to me is, Siobhan, entrepreneurship is not for the swiftest. It's for those who have endurance. And pain, I've noticed, gives us the endurance, the pain that we have been through. There's a craze right now about, coal plunging. And it's funny because I don't do well in cold at all. If you know me, I love me a hot shower. I think so many people do. And my mom used to say to me, "You're going to burn your skin off." And I would just kind of crack up because I love the comfort of the warmth. And so I was challenged a couple of weeks ago to get 6 bags of ice, put it in my bathtub, fill it up with water, and get in. And I felt like I couldn't go back and show my face at this event where I was challenged at, because they're going to be like, well, did you do it? And I went home that day from that event and I got my 6 bags of ice. I put it in my bathtub, filled it up, and yes, I got in. It wasn't all the way up here, but I got in about mid waist, and it was cold. And I did it because, yes, I was challenged, but I did it because I think there was a part of me that knew that I needed to expose myself to different levels of discomfort and different levels of pain, if you will, in order to regulate my nervous system to withstand new levels in my business. And so, one of the things that I've noticed now is that since doing that, I'm always ending my showers on cold for at least 60 seconds at minimum. And I've counted in my head past 2 minutes, and I've blown past 3 minutes. But I allow myself to be exposed so that way I can control my breathing in the discomfort. So that way I can not resist the cold, because what I've noticed is that when you resist the cold, it gets colder. And I don't want it to get colder. If I'm going to last longer and build endurance, I got to breathe. I got to breathe. I've got to focus differently. I can't focus on the cold. I got to focus on my breathing. I've got to become one with my breath. And I have to allow that discomfort to sit there and be there without me pushing against it. And what I've noticed is that my nervous system has been more regulated because of it. And this is not to say everybody needs to go out there and turn their showers cold. You got to take care of yourself, do what feels good for you. But I'm saying for me, I have noticed that in order to get to new levels, I really had to start exposing myself to different levels of discomfort, because the discomfort I've been feeling in my business is more as I'm expanding my own capacity to hold more clients. I'm currently working with one-on-one clients. I've got a group program that's also running, and I'm expanding. I'm expanding myself so I can expand the containers for the amount of clients I can hold. And I'm not saying I want, like thousands of clients that I can't withstand at one time. No, 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 no. I definitely like a lot of white space on my calendar, but I know that I have the capacity to serve more and show up more and increase the volume of my business. But that means that I have to expand my own capacity to hold and serve. And so it's really exciting times to be able to grow my business in this way, but also grow my business from a place of safety, knowing that as it grows, I'm okay. I know that I can handle it, because oftentimes the things we believe we can't handle aren't true. It's really just in our mind that we believe that we can't handle it. So as we expose ourselves to this discomfort and this pain in whatever capacity, for me, it's been with cold water. I got into the pool the other day with my clothes on after a workout. I didn't even go in a bathing suit. I went with my clothes on right after the gym, and I just got in, and it's cold. I wouldn't say it was in like the 40s or anything. It was probably like 60, anywhere like from 55 to 60 degrees. And it was cold, but it was enough for my nervous system to go, ooh, I feel this. And I had to breathe through it. And so I've noticed that pain is this common denominator. And if you really listen to anyone's story, there was levels of pain, emotional, mental, sometimes physical, that has allowed the endurance to stick it out in business. We already know it's worth it. We're not questioning, is it worth it? We're like, well, when's it going to happen? But we know it's all in divine timing anyways. But it's this level of exposure that I have noticed. And so if you're somebody right now and you're thinking to yourself, like, I want to be an entrepreneur, I really want this to work for me, I would just say, how much discomfort are you exposing yourself to? Because entrepreneurship exposes you to so many emotions that you probably didn't even know you had, that 9 to 5 jobs don't expose you to. 9 to 5 jobs don't necessarily challenge you. You kind of go on autopilot. on a lot of jobs. And I don't like to speak in terms of definitive because some people's jobs continue to expand them. But I can tell you, for the people in my world who work in healthcare and certain components of healthcare, at least, there's no more expansion, there's no more growing. And so they're not being challenged. So when they come into entrepreneurship and online business and personal branding and product development, we've got to grow. And that happens because we're being exposed to new emotions, whether it's doubt or it's fear, it's not having confidence. Maybe we lack courage or some worthiness. Like, it's all of these things that we are feeling that gets exposed as we take the steps to build our business. But if we know how to regulate our nervous system, if we know how to withstand levels of discomfort and pain because we've had previous experiences like that before, then we know that we're going to make it through. Doesn't make it less painful, doesn't mean we don't have the human experience, but we know that we're going to make it through. There's like not a question. It's more so like, what support do we need to get through? Who do we need to guide us? Do we need another coach? Do we need a spiritual coach? Do we need a different kind of guide? Like, we're looking for different kinds of people to help us get there and help us get there faster. So we're not spinning our wheels. But pain is definitely a common denominator when it comes to being successful in online business. And it's something that, like I said, I've known it to be true for me. So if you're watching this and you're feeling pain, I want you to just recognize it's totally normal and use it to your advantage. Shift how you're viewing it and allow it to be a catalyst for the success that you really want to create. And know that because you've been through something hard before, you're able to go through something hard again. So when it looks like it is not working, I promise you it will, because there was a point where you didn't think that whatever you were going through before, you were going to get through. Even though you might know you were going to get through it, there was a part of you that was like, man, this sucks right now. I don't think I can get through this. It feels so devastating on multiple levels, but you got through it. And when you look back, you're like, wow, I did that. Like, look at what I did. Look at how I got through that. Entrepreneurship is the same way. So wherever you are in your journey, allow your pain to be a catalyst. I'm testing out this new mic. I will re-listen to this audio, and I trust that the sound was all good, but we will make it better each week as we go. I will see you all in next week's video. Bye.